we finally have film and finally have tape of 2020 for us is what it looks like in a live game. We didn't have any preseason. In practice here in training camp, everything is mostly thud, so you're not bringing guys live to the ground. So we can finally evaluate and critique these guys. And now you start building an identity of who you are as a team. The thing I was proud of our team in general was that we were able to overcome a few penalties. Defensively, we had a few penalties, but they overcame them and made some big stops on third down. Offensively, we had one penalty on the day, and that was a delay of game one time. So that part there is staying out of the negative plays. But it gives us now a chance as coaches to see what we did well, what we like, and then also teach these guys, and then critique ourselves too. Like when did I have a bad play call, and why was that? When did Chuck Pagano have a bad play call, and when was that? Situational football, and you just start kind of slowly building who you are as a team. And when you're down that many points in the fourth quarter in this league, it's hard. And to come back and win, what it does is just makes you really strong.
Matt Nagy here on the Rich Eisen Show. You just mentioned how you now have film finally because there was no preseason action. And I know this might be a loaded question to ask somebody whose team required 3 quarters to finally start firing on all cylinders. That said, there has been a large conversation about how crisp, for no preseason action, things have looked, including officiating, including obviously play, where half the league is traveling with protocols that they've never had to travel with before. Would you agree that preseason action moving forward has been proven to be the way to go?
Yeah, I think so. I think what it does is it really allows you to get that live tackling in there, the ball security for the the offensive players, the tackling for the defensive players, the full speed, the energy side of it with just getting used to the going through a game. I mean, the other thing that gets lost in the shuffle is, think about too, like we're fortunate this is year 3 together as a staff, and there's some new coaches on our staff, but for some of these coaches that have a brand new staff, these guys have never gone through a pregame ritual of like what, where guys go and how you do it and where you're at unless you do a practice run in your own facility. So there's just a lot of first-time stuff when you don't have the preseason. The preseason kind of lets you get all the kinks out so that when you get to week 1, you're rolling. And, just the simplicities of going in at halftime and trying to, if there's any new coaches, hey, where do you go during halftime? What's your procedure during halftime with the short time that you're in there so that you're effective? A lot of things that people don't think of that affect us as coaches and players, and I think that's where the preseason can also help in other ways.
So you would have an issue if people come out of this week 1 and say, because predominantly a lot of people that I talk to are saying we don't need preseason anymore. You would have a problem if
sure. I think there's probably different reasons for that, but I think a lot of people would agree that what I just said is definitely there's some merit to having it, just so that you can go through some of the stuff I just talked about, not to mention too for the players as well. So there's probably a balance of it somewhere, and that's not for me to decide, but I do think that there is some merit to it.
Okay, so I guess then let's put a fine point on it. Next owners meeting next spring, there's a vote on this subject. You and the Chicago Bears would vote yes, we should have preseason.
Man, you put me on the spot.
I don't know. Because this is a conversation
I would probably lean more towards that way. But again, not having it this year, I could now say, hey, we didn't have a preseason, and so I know that we can react accordingly. So I'm that's kind of down the fence, but that's my opinion of how it can help in different ways.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.